In this video, we're going to take a look at how you can see a report on the performance of your appointments and the overall performance of your pipeline. So I'm starting this video by taking a look at our opportunities pipeline. Now we've got a very simple pipeline layout here. As you can imagine though, if you've run 1, 2, 3 events, you're going to have contacts all over your pipeline, and being able to go back and review how each event has performed or how things have performed cumulative can be quite difficult to do by just looking at the pipeline. So being able to go and see that in a report form can be very helpful. So we've got this simple layout of 3 contacts. We've got one person who has been marked as lost. They perhaps FTA'd their appointment. This contact here is still marked as open, and they've attended their appointment, so perhaps they are considering or making some arrangements with your team. And this contact here is in the treatment accepted column, and they've been marked as 1. And you can see we've added a custom value to the value of this contact in the system. To go and find a report on this, it's very easy. We actually just head over to our dashboard tab on the left-hand side. And this is actually the tab that you'll see when you first log in to your account. And this will show something that looks a bit like this. Now, of course, the numbers in our dashboard are very simple because we've only got a couple of names in the pipeline. We've intentionally set it up in a simple manner so it's easy for us to interpret and see how the dashboard works. Now, before we jump in and start looking at the details in the pipeline, it's critically important that we understand how to use our time and date filter and this little feature here. So let's take a look. First of all, it's important to intentionally set the date range that you want to review. You can do that by setting an in and out, a start time and an end time of the date range that you want to review, or by using one of the defaults here in the system. I often use the this year so that we can get a cumulative number. But click on that. That'll just pick up all the contacts that were entered into your pipeline this year. Now, before we go any further, there's one more thing that we need to update, and that is by clicking on this little icon here, it'll let us change how it's interpreting the data, and it's critically important that we set it to based on created on, not based on the status change. And the reason being is that will create our little dashboard and our reports based on when a contact was created in the pipeline. And that will give you information that is a lot closer to being able to understand how each event has performed, because the contacts will have been created following each event, whereas the status can change at any time for a whole range of reasons. So we keep this selected on created on. Perfect. Now let's take a look at each of these little dashboards so we can understand what information it is giving us. This first one on the left-hand side here, it gives us a breakdown of the opportunities that are in your pipeline and the status of them. We've got a very simple layout in our pipeline. However, of course, if you've run a number of events, you could have anywhere from 30 to 120 people in your pipeline. And this can condense down those details and let you see what statuses those people are and what the distribution of those statuses are in your pipeline. This little dashboard here, this breaks down the value of each of those statuses in the pipeline. This can be very helpful to show you the value of those who have been marked as 1. Also, the value of those who are marked as open. And those are people that are potential to progress towards treatment acceptance or to be marked as 1 in the future. Or, of course, the value of those who are marked as lost or abandoned. And for those that are marked as lost or abandoned, that might also give your team the inspiration or quantification for the potential to go back and maybe do some calls and rebook people in. Now, it's important to understand that this number here is referring to total revenue. That's the total potential revenue of all the contacts that are in the pipeline. If you want to see the total revenue of those that have accepted treatment, we want to look at this number here. And this will pull from those that have been specifically marked as 1 in the pipeline. And that'll give you a cumulative number there as you add to those who have been marked as 1. As you can see, this will also give you your conversion rate. Now, it's very important to understand that with this conversion rate, it is giving you a conversion rate based on the total number of contacts in your pipeline. It's not referring to those that you have, to only those that you have seen. So it's important to understand how that number is calculated. It's referring to all of those in your pipeline. Now, if you've got a portion of people that had cancelled their appointments or FTA'd their appointments prior to coming in to see you, that will impact this conversion rate number here. To get a little bit more detail on how people are progressing through the pipeline, or what some people call a funnel, we've got some very helpful additional dashboards here. And this gives us a little running tally of how many people have progressed through. And it breaks it down both by cumulative number of those that have progressed through, as well as percentages of the previous step. And over here, we've got a breakdown of our stages distribution, and we've got a count as well as a percentage count over here. Now, if we go down further, there are some additional features in your dashboard. However, these features are not necessarily relevant as they relate to features that you will not be using inside of your account. So most of the action happens amongst these parts of the dashboard here. I hope you found this video helpful. If you need any additional help, you're always welcome to reach out to our team.